go.
Who know our kids better than we do?
We're heading into Cullerton this house community and what is it going to take what's it going to take to make it go? Senator Cullerton. It was very good. Well, there's the quarterly sign right there. So bad, right? Oh, here we come. Oh, hey, still living.
Some handout sheets too, you guys would like to.
So, elected school board, HB 1774. This is the status. We can take one down, pass it around. Did you want to bring everyone up to speed, or it's pretty short? You want me to just read it? Great.
Do we not have the?
What?
I mean, I guess I can't. There's no camera. On me, I guess. There's no camera. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah,
She's just voice. Yeah, that's all. Yes.
I just
So, this is,
Ace, no one knows.
I'm Senate President John Cullerton, District Director here in the office. So we do community outreach. We're very familiar with Jeff Deckens. Molly Chirico.
How do you spell Chirico?
Chirico. But I would like to state that I'm not a spokesman for Senate President John Cullerton, so I don't speak for him.
she's from the press.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I can give you John Patterson's information. He's a spokesman. I'm happy to give you that information. He will talk to you. I know Jeff Jenkins has been in constant contact with.
Yes, and I'm going to give John Patterson a quick call before we leave, just to request that meeting. So this is the, I don't know if everyone has one of these, so I'll just read it out loud. The elected Chicago School Board, HB 1774, status. The proposal is pending in the Illinois House. House approval would send it to the governor's desk. In May, the Illinois Senate approved the proposal 53-2. The 2 no votes came from Senate Republicans. The Senate did make a change to the proposal. The Senate put an independent local group in charge of drawing the school board districts. Without this change, the maps would be drawn in Springfield, the process controlled by legislative leaders and subject to Governor Rauner's approval. Similar to legislative leaders appointing an office of Inspector General, which they're unable to do for 3 years running. But they didn't want to give that to somebody else. Okay. The Senate change takes it out of their hands and puts a local panel in charge of drawing the school board maps. The change treats a Chicago school board the same as every other school board in Illinois. Senators from other parts of Illinois said they didn't want to be involved in drawing Chicago maps, and some Chicago senators said they didn't want politicians from outside Chicago, who often criticize Chicago and its schools, to influence Chicago school board maps. That change awaits final legislative approval in the House.
So we're kicking the can down the road.
Kicking the can down the road. And I had mentioned this earlier when I was outside, inside baseball, parlor tricks, smoke and mirrors. What happens is the bill comes forward and it flies through the House with veto-proof majorities. It goes to the Senate, where it also flies through with veto-proof majorities. However, they change one small detail, which is just enough so that then it would have to go back to the House to be reapproved. They would have to concur on that. And we know that that's probably just enough for the leaders of each of those, who again have 80 plus years together in Springfield. They don't agree on this one little part of this sweeping change that ultimately could have dramatic and positive impacts on our lives and our children's lives. So this one little nugget that they don't agree on, so it will sit here on the desk and collect dust, hopefully until it expires, until it dies without ever seeing the light of day. And what they don't want is voters and parents and constituents coming to their office and saying, do your job. Get together and reach a compromise. hold town halls, hold public meetings, get some input from voters, and let's move this thing forward. Don't cut a backroom deal that says we'll vote for it, we'll get it through, but we'll change it just enough so we can let it sit and die, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and then we both have an out if people come knocking on my door. And we're just here to say, and this is the message that you could send to Senator Cullerton, and I'll certainly give him a call and John Patterson a call. We see through this.
Yes, we do.
We see through this. It's one point of contention that could certainly be worked out. If these heroes of democracy and incredible political leaders can get us a budget after nearly 2 years, I think they could probably come together and figure out who's going to decide the legislative map for an elected school board.
Yes.
That's not a heavy lift.
Get it done.
So what we would like, Molly, and maybe you could pencil us in, is a date
Well, I don't
for
know
a
the scheduling.
public
He is
meeting.
the new scheduler in Springfield, and I'm happy to give you her information.
That'd be great.
But, you know, we've always been in contact.
want it now. We're here
Yeah,
now.
we need to talk to that person now.
But I will say that the last...
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, please do, G2.
I think, you know, we've danced this dance so many times, we know the moves before the music is good. And I think, you know, there's a few things. It's this, and it's also the changing the effective date to 2023 that have been done to throw a monkey wrench in this effort. And again, what is the fear? If you have a mandate from Chicago voters, what is the fear? Right? And so I'm personally not willing to dance this dance anymore.
No.
I'm at a place where either elected officials do their job or they become targets. One way or the other, because our children's lives are at stake. When we go to schools and there's no art and no music, right? But this appointed school board says, have you ever heard this appointed school board say one word about equity? You know, they say we don't want to elect the school board because it brings politics into public education. But how can it be more political than it is right now? Sister, the story you just told about NTA, I just made the point that needs to be national news. That needs to be on the front page of the New York Times, where the mayor is sabotaging a successful black school, a successful black school for political favors. Right? And I'm willing to work with you to try to make him have to answer calls from the Washington Post and the New York Times and Al Jazeera and everybody else. That's crazy. But remember that before they opened NTA, they closed Price.
Yes.
Right? And so it's just this regular, who cares what they do to our children? And what could be more evil than sabotaging the future of a child? I mean, just think about that. What could be more evil than creating policy that you know hurts children? The University of Chicago, Dr. David Curbo, said in 2007 that closing a school takes 6 months off a child's academic development. They don't care. They don't care. And so whether it's your neighborhood where your children are not getting the services they need, they're not getting the special services they need, or it's our neighborhood where they're closing schools and they're selling them like used school salesmen. It doesn't. We have to be united and committed to, we got to go take this elected school board.
Yes.
We have to go take it. And we can take it.
Yes.
We can take it. I personally, I'm done. I'm not willing to give my son to them. I'm not willing to give my son to him. Like I was able to stand on my daddy's shoulders, he should be able to stand on my shoulders.
That's right.
And all of you as parents and as grandparents have that right. They have that right. And you dealing with something that's non-negotiable. Our baby.
And they just,
So I just wanted to add that this is smoke and mirrors. This is the Shell Gang. Y'all seen the Shell Gang?
Yeah.
This is 3-card Monty. This is bullcrap. And so that's my 2 cents.
I want to add this. They got a plan to close another 50 schools.
yes,
Another 50 schools. They want to devastate our community.
Yes, sir.
So we need that elected school board.
and we're gonna get it.
So what we're calling for, what we're asking for, what we're imploring, and quite frankly demanding is a public meeting,
Public forum.
Demanding.
public forum, town hall style,
Jeff, can we get that scheduler on the phone and get that meeting
Yeah.
set right now?
Right
Over
now.
here?
Yeah, right now.
Molly, can we call the schedule?
Tell us where he at.
What's that?
It's 217.
Yes.
And you can put him on speaker, we can say hello.
I don't know if that's necessary.
It's critical.
Hello.
217
782
782
2728.
2728. And
Her
who?
name is Marsha.
Marcia.
She does scheduling for.
Right.
Marcia. Hi, Marcia, please. Thank you.
What's your last name? Simmons. Thank you.
Hi, Marcia. Hi, it's Jeff Jenkins from Cooley Local School Council here in Chicago, 6th District. We're over here at the Senator's office, and I'm with a coalition of folks from all across Chicago. Public school parents from the south side, north side, west side, you name it.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get a meeting with Senator Cullerton so he can bring us up to speed as to why the elected school board bill was put into elected dust when it passed with veto-proof majorities. Could we get that on the books ASAP in a public space where everyone can be invited to so they could find out what the holdup is, they could ask the questions, and we could work with the senator to get this bill passed because he did vote for it and we want to make sure that it passes. My phone number is 312-952-8591. Put you on speaker there.
Hi, Marsha.
Can we get a date and a time right now?
I'm sorry?
When were you thinking of this?
Well, we'd like to get it as soon as we can. Obviously, we'd like it.
Before the end of the year.
We would like it ASAP. We would like a convenient time and a convenient location with plenty of space because this is a broad coalition of folks from across Chicago. We want to make sure they have plenty of time to hear Senator out, find out what the sticking points are, ask plenty of questions. 1774.
Okay. We'll get back to you.
Okay. Well, am I going to hear from you today, do you think?
Yeah, you're not going to meet today, but
No.
I can try to get back to you today. If it's not me, it'll be someone on his staff.
Wonderful.
Because they don't have his calendar in front of her?
Okay.
They don't have the calendar in front of her.
Thank you, Marcia. Great. Well, she did take the call, and she is relatively new to the office, so I will give her credit for saying she is going to check the schedule and get back to me right away. I'm going to call her. I'll give her a couple hours, and I'll call back. I'm confident that we'll hear from John Patterson, who is Senator Cullerton's spokesperson.
Okay.
He's generally very responsive. It doesn't always lead to bills getting passed, these bills that favor us, but I will give him credit. He is very responsive. So I'm going to reach out to him as well.
All right, good work, folks.
Anybody else here who had anything they wanted to share?
It's important what you say. Children are the future.
Amen? Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank everybody for coming out.
Appreciate your leadership.
I know it's not always easy.
I
Molly,
want
thank
to
you.
share something.
If you guys would like to sign in and leave email and contact information, we can email you updates. And I also have Marsha's info, but if you have any.
I think we've got a list that I could forward to.
And I have John Patterson's.
Yeah, I just want to make, just put names on it, just trying to keep track of who was here. And then I'll send it around to all the people.
Yes.
Jeff, you people.
Yes.